Oh, hello, great readers. I'm Bill-chan.
I'm Nimacum.
I'm Van-chan.
In this class, I'll read all of you a part of Ulysses,
S.
L.
Ulysses, James Joyce. Sub 14 Sec 5. The young gentleman, his friend, overjoyed as he was at a passage that had late befallen him, could not forbear to tell her his nearest neighbour, Mr. Mulligan, now perceiving the table, asked for whom were those loaves and fishes, and, seeing the stranger, he made a miserable bow and said, "Brian, thou, was you in need of any professional assistance we could give?" Who, upon his offer, thanked him very heartily, though preserving his proper distance, and replied that he was come there about a lady, now an inmate of Warren's house, that was in an interesting condition. Poor body, from woman's woe, and he fished a deep sight to know if her happiness had yet taken place. Mr. Dixon, to turn the table, took one task of Mr. Mulligan himself with his incipient ventripotence, upon which he rallied him, betokened an ovoblastic gestation in the prosthetic a trickle or male womb or was due. As with the noted physician, Mr. Austin Meldon, to a wolf in the stomach. For answer, Mr. Mulligan, in a gale of laughter at his smalls, smote himself bravely below the diaphragm, exclaiming with an admirable droll mimic of Mother Grogan, the most excellent creature of her, "Six thought is pity she's a trolla, there's a billy that never bore a bastard." This was so happy a conceit that it renewed the storm of mirth and threw the whole room into the most violent agitations of delight. The spry rattle had run on in the same vein of mimicry, but for some larum in the antechamber. Here the listener, who was none other than the Scotch student, a little fume of a fellow, blond as tow, congratulated in the liveliest fashion with the young gentleman, and, interrupting the narrative at a salient point, having desired his vis-a-vis with a polite beg to have the obligingness to pass him a flagon of cordial waters, at the same time by a questioning quiz of the had a whole century of polite breeding had not achieved so nice a gesture to, which was united in equivalent but contrary balance of the bottle, asked the narrator as plainly as was ever done in words if he might treat him with a cup of it. "My's buying, sir, noble stranger," said he cheerily, "et my compliments, that you may end very opportunely. There wanted nothing but this cup to crown my felicity. But, gracious heaven, was I left with but a crust in my willet and a cup full of water from the well? My God, I would accept of them and find it in my heart to kneel down upon the ground and give thanks to the powers above for the happiness vouchsafed me by the giver of good things." With these words he approached the goblet to his lips, took a complacent draught of the cordial, slicked his hair, and, opening his bosom, out popped a locket that hung from a silk riband, that very picture which he had cherished ever since her hand had wrote therein. Gazing upon those features with a world of tenderness, while, Monsieur, he said. Had you but beheld her as I did with these eyes at that affecting instant, with her dainty ticker and her nickel quick cap a gift for her feast days. She told me prettily in such an ortals disorder, of so melting a tenderness. Upon my conscience, even you, Monsieur, had been impelled by generous nature to deliver yourself wholly into the hands of such an enemy, or to quit the field forever. I declare, I was never suited in all my life. I thank thee, as the author of my days. Thrice happy will he be whom so amiable a creature will bless with her favours. A sigh of affliction gave eloquence to these words, and, having replaced the locket in his bosom, he wiped his eye and sighed again. Beneficent disseminator of blessings to all thy creatures, how great and universal must be that sweetest of thy tyrannies which can hold in, through all the free and the bond, the simple swain and the polished coxcomb, the lover in the heyday of reckless passion and the husband of matter years. But indeed, thou, I wander from the point. How mingled and imperfect are all our sublunary traits. Made at a city, he exclaimed in anguish. Would to God that foresight had but remembered me to take my cloak along. I could weep to think of it. Then, though it had poured 7 showers, we were neither of us a penny the worse. But beshrew me, he cried, clapping hand to his forehead. Tomorrow will be a new day, and thousand thunders, I know of a march and the capotes, Monsieur Points, from whom I can have for a liver as like a cloak of the French, fashion as of her capped a lady from Whitting. But det, cries of conditor, tripping in. My friend Mr. Moe, that most accomplished traveller, I have just cracked a half bottle of Clee in a circle of the best wits of the town. Is my authority that in Cape Horn? Then to bitch, they have a rain that will wet through any, even this stud's coke. A drenching of that violence, he tells me, sends Blag, has sent more than one luckless fellow in good earnest possessed to another world. Boo. A liver, cries Mr. Lynch. The clumsy things are dear at a sow. One umbrella, were it no bigger than a fairy mushroom, is worth 10 such stopgaps. No woman of any wit would wear one. My Kitty told me today that she would dance in a deluge before of her. She would starve in such an ark of salvation for her. As she reminded me, blushing piquantly and whispering in my ear that there was none, to snap her words buckety butterflies. Dame Nature, by the divine blessing, has implanted it in our hearts, and it has become a household where that why do choose for which the innocence of our original God, in other circumstances a breach of the proprieties, is the fittest. The only garment. The first, said she in him, my pretty philosopher, as I handed her to her Tilbury, to fix my attention. Gently tipped with her tongue the outer chamber of my ear. The first is a bath. But at this point a bell tinkling in the hall cut short a discourse which promised so bravely for the enrichment of our store of knowledge. Amid the general vacant hilarity of the assembly, a bell rang, and while all were conjecturing what might be the cause, Miss Culling entered and, having spoken a few words in a low tone to young Mr. Dixon, retired with a profound bow to the company. The presence even for a moment a monoparty of debauchees of a woman indeed, with every quality of modesty and not less severe than beautiful refrained the humorous sallies, even of the most licentious, but her departure was the signal for an outbreak of ribaldry. Strike me silly, said Costello, a low fellow who was fiddled. A monstrous fine bit of coffish. I'll be sworn she has rendered vows to you. What? You dark? Have you away with them? Elspeth. Immensely so, said Mr. Lynch. The bedside manner it is that they use in the Mater Hospice. Dent. Does not doctors gargle check the nuns there under the chin? As I look to be saved, I had it from my kitty who has been ward made there any time these 7 months. Walk Samacy. Doctor, cried the young bud in the primrose vest, thinning a womanish simper in with the modest squirmings of his body. How you do tease a body. Trat the man. Bless me, I'm all of a wibbly wobbly. Oil. You're as bad as dear little Father Catechism. That you are. May the spot of 4 have choked me, cried Costello, if she ain't in the family way. I knows a lady was got a white swelling quick as I claps eyes on her. The young surgeon, however, rose and begged the company to excuse his retreat, as the nurse had just then in front, and now he was needed in the ward. Merciful Providence had been pleased to put a period to the sufferings of the lady, who was enceinte which she had borne with a laudable fortitude, and she had given first to a bouncing boy. I want patience, said he, with those who, without wit to enliven or learning to instruct, revile an ennobling profession which, saving the reverence due to the deity, is the greatest power for happiness upon the earth. I am positive when I say that if need were I could produce a cloud of witnesses to the excellence of her noble excitations, which, so far from being a byword, should be a glorious incentive in the human breast. I cannot away with them. What? Malign such an one, the amiable Miss Cullen, who is the lustre of her own sex and the astonishment of ours. And at an instant the most moment is that can befall a puny child of clay. Perish the thought. I shudder to think of the future of a race where the seeds of such malice have been sown, and when a right reverence is rendered to mother and maid. In House of Horn, having delivered himself of this rebuke, he saluted those present on the by and repaired to the door. A murmur of approval arose from all, and some were for rejecting the love-sucker. Without more ado, a design which would have been effected, nor would he have received more than his. Bear desist had he not abridged his transgression by affirming with a horrid imprecation, for he swore around him that he was as good a son of the true fold as ever drew breath. Stat my victuals, said he. Them was always the sentiments of honest Frank Costello which I was bred up most. Particular to honour thy father and thy mother that had the best enter wilfully or hasty pudding, as you ever see, what I always looks back on with a loving heart. To revert to Mr. Bloom, who, after his first entry, had been conscious of some impudent mocks which he however had borne with his being, the fruits of that age upon which it is commonly charged that it knows not. A. The young sparks, it is true, were as full of extravagancies as overgrown children. The words of their tumultuary discussions were difficultly understood and not often nice. Their essence and outrageous mots were such that his intellects wrestled from, nor were they scrupulously sensible of the proprieties they were fond of. Strong animal spirits spoke in their behalf. To be continued.